welcome to another episode of Presence Practice with Poonam and Parker. Hey, Poonam.
Hey,
Hey,
Parker. Hello, everyone.
So today's topic is conscious conversations. Conscious conversations. I get the question a lot about how to be around, especially like workmates, for instance, or people that we're consistently around all the time. How to maintain a level of presence when you have a lot of people that are not present around you, that aren't even awakening around you. How do you get in your car and you're not exhausted all day long? Well, one thing we can do is look at the thoughts that we're having about that particular situation. The universe is teaching us something. It's very easy, very simple to just drop it. And you lose nothing. You can be in a conversation with almost anyone, or you can interact with almost anyone for any amount of time, and you walk away complete and whole and not exhausted because you're allowing what is. You're not trying to change them or change their conversation habits or their complaining. So it's being able to see another person's unconsciousness without having an opinion about that unconsciousness or telling a story about that unconsciousness is going to leave you intact. You're like a sieve. It just falls right through you. And who knows what comes out of that sort of presence. Oftentimes, you will raise the vibration of the general atmosphere, and you'll find that nothing is sticking to you anymore. If someone's coming to complain, you understand the fabric of that energy well enough to know that it needs to magnetize. It's coming to another form to share the complaints, and if you're unconscious at the same time, then you'll join in that complaining, and now we have the whole atmosphere and energy field of complaining. That's, for instance. There's many other ways that people communicate. So another thing that we could unconsciously do is be finishing the other person's sentence. We're already thinking about what we're going to say before the other person has finished expressing themselves, or we're judging how they're expressing themselves. Get to the point. I know what you're going to say anyway. But do we? But do we? So you step behind. We're so present that we have no idea what the next syllable, what the next word that will be said by the person that we're talking with. And we allow things to be. Let's say that we know better. So we may tell ourselves, well, I know better. I know the solution to this. I know how you can be free of your mind. But if it's not asked for, the best teacher is our presence, is to just, in our stillness, allow things to unfold, allow people to be as they are, to offer that spaciousness. We're not doing anything offering that spaciousness, so there's nothing to congratulate either. And the whole energy of conversations can change. The whole quality of the conversations, even deeply unconscious people will have with you, can change. And to allow people, it's a very loving thing, just to allow people to do as they do, and then enter into these conversations with from a place of understanding, of wanting to understand, and of curiosity, so that we can allow things to unfold. We don't need to stand out. Our impulse becomes one of enjoyment. So we're first in the present moment, enjoying the present moment without expectations or seeking. Let's say we're in a big meeting and we looked at it, the meeting, and the first thing that came to us is it looks like something that's already been discussed or something else. It's a useless meeting. So we're going into this meeting with the vibration that it's useless and that it's a waste of our time. You see, this is all the unconsciousness that's going to affect our impulse and how we are in this meeting. Poonam, you have experience with this in the corporate environment, very recent experience. You want to share with us how you are creating conscious dialogue?
I think the key is what you said is sit back and listen. You know, listening can also be a way to enter the other person's presence. So you can calm the whole, like if you're in a conference call, like if you sit back and allow that spaciousness and listen and really listen with every cell of our being, instead of trying to distract ourselves with instant messaging or trying to write an email while we are talking, right?
Yes.
So that full attention.
Yes. Let's take another situation. Let's say someone is agitated, either mildly agitated, which can come out as sarcasm or just a general snarkiness or insolence, to high level agitation of screaming and throwing. Who knows how we'll respond? The ticket is to develop a presence practice so that we're always rooted in that space. So we're a nice balance of being and doing. Eckhart says that he's about 80 or 90% being, and then the remainder is doing. And we're out here in the world, if you're saying in a work environment or in an environment where you're negotiating or where you're talking to your attorney, or there might be a charged subject on the table, you don't know what you'll do. You probably will leave a situation, just turn and leave. Your body might just start moving if someone is aggressive or throwing things. One thing that I've noticed that will happen if someone is in an agitated state, it's always looking to transfer. Oftentimes a high agitation, short, just before throwing and outright screaming, they're looking to transfer that and point it in a different direction. And let's say it's pointed at you. Let's say it's pointed at you and there's agitation. What I notice I do is I extract the facts of their situation. I do not address at all their countenance or their agitation. I don't talk about it at all. For instance, would be something important was due to give to their boss. It did not happen. Right? Then just stick with it. Offer your loving presence. It cannot hurt you. If you need to turn and leave, you'll turn and leave when it's ready. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They're doing only what they can do. They cannot operate beyond how they're operating. So that's just it. So what I do is I don't judge the situation. I won't judge that. This is something that I think I do pretty well with. I just leave it be. And I stick with the core of what the request seems to be, and move from there. And that immediately will drop some of that anxiety. Your presence will offer them some space as well. And I've noticed so many times how their whole countenance changes. And I wonder if I also didn't learn some of that, not just from presence practice, but I used to, when I was completely unconscious, get agitated all the time, very aggravated just in general. And I noticed that some of the people that I had memories of great affection for are the people that did not respond to my anxiety. They didn't whip it up. They didn't get defensive. They just were able to sit with it and get to the core, the facts of the matter, and move me out of that space. I'm grateful for them today. And talking less. I noticed that when I'm deeply seated, there's a whole lot less to say or add. You could just allow people to come and go, and that you engage in a place of that comes from that loving kindness that can't help but arise if you've cultivated presence in your life.